we clean the stations?
I haven't personally, so.
I'll go ahead and do that.
I think we're good on three.
I think you're right. Go ahead.
What's that?
Go ahead and do them. Get started. All right, court's on the record, Commerce City Municipal Court for the afternoon session of February 10th of 2022. For the people that are on Zoom, please leave your devices on mute. I will ask you to unmute your device when I'm ready to call your case. For the person that's in the courtroom, in a minute, I'll be calling you up to one of the three stations. While you're at that station, I need you to speak loudly and clearly. One of my responsibilities today is to make sure that everything that you say gets properly recorded. After you're done, I'll direct you to see my clerks in the lobby. Their windows are located to the left once you exit through the double doors at the rear of the courtroom. When you leave the courtroom, go out those double doors, but make a left before you get to the metal detector, and that'll get you to my clerk's window. All right, we'll go ahead and begin with Michael, and it's Balog. Balog. If you'd come forward to station number 1, this is case EM 1957. Good afternoon. All right, I have a document that indicates that if you plead guilty to the original charge of failure to signal a 2-point violation, the city attorney will dismiss the remaining original charge from January 18th of 2022 at about shortly before 3 o'clock in the afternoon in the area of 14900 East 104th Avenue here in Commerce City. Is this how you wish to resolve your case today, by pleading guilty to one charge, the lesser charge, and having the greater charge dismissed?
Yes.
All right, did you watch the advisement of rights video?
Yes.
Do you understand that if I accept your guilty plea to this reduced charge, or not this reduced charge, but the lesser charge, that you're waiving all of the trial and appeal related rights that you were advised of as it relates to both charges in this case?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced you or coerced you to get you to plead guilty to this charge against your will?
No, sir.
Has anyone made any promise to you to get you to enter this plea?
No, sir.
Are you currently under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medications that affect your ability to understand what you're doing in court today?
No, sir.
Give me a second. There's something that doesn't look right about this. All right, good. All right, then to the original charge of failure to signal a 2-point violation on January 18th of 2022 here in Commerce City. How do you plead, guilty or not guilty? I'll accept your guilty plea. Is there anything you want me to take into consideration before I impose the sentence against you?
Just, I have good driving record. For the traffic school, that was great.
Yeah, you've got a good record. That I send people to traffic school who don't have good records, who need to learn how to be better drivers.
Well, I got the speeding tickets years ago in the past, and I found the Penn traffic school encouraged time management.
All right, thank you. All right, your schedule fine's $120. Because of your plea bargain and your excellent record, I'm going to reduce your fine to $60 plus surcharges plus court costs. If you go to the windows in the lobby and see my clerks, they'll tell you the total. If you need them to, they'll make payment arrangements for you. Okay?
Thank you very much. Sir.
You go ahead, just out through the double doors. Okay. Shoot. Steven Sanchez, if you would unmute your device, please.
Hi, how you doing?
Good afternoon. All right, I have a document that indicates that if you plead guilty to the added reduced charge of improper lane use, the city attorney will dismiss the original speeding charge against you from January 9th of 2022 at about 9 o'clock in the morning in the area of the 10500 block of East 120th Avenue. So is this how you wish to resolve your case today? By pleading guilty to this 3-point improper lane use and having the original speeding charge against you dismissed?
Yes, I would agree to that.
Did you watch the advisement of rights video?
Yes, I did.
You understand that if I accept your guilty plea to this reduced charge, you are waiving all of the trial and appeal related rights that you were advised of in that video?
Yes, I understand.
Has anyone forced you or coerced you to get you to plead guilty to this reduced charge against your will?
No,
Has anyone made any promise to you to get you to enter this guilty plea?
no,
Are you currently under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medications that affect your ability to understand what you're doing in court today?
no,
Then to the added reduced charge of improper lane use, a 3-point violation on January 9th of 2022 here in Commerce City. How do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
guilty.
I'll accept your guilty plea. Is there anything you want me to take into consideration before I impose the sentence against you?
No, I got nothing else to say. It was just a slightly mistake of me and not paying attention, and I'll be doing a little bit better on that. I've gone a long ways from my past, and I know I don't have a great record on my driving, but I've managed to have my license for 2 years now, and actually I've been doing good on all that. It's just one quick
Yeah,
mistake.
you really have in the past few years, but boy, when you first started driving, I'm telling you.
Yeah, it was not good.
All right, well, I only go back 1 year. There's nothing in aggravation there. You do have a good record otherwise. Your schedule fine's $120. I'm going to reduce your fine to $80 plus surcharges plus court costs. When you leave the meeting, my clerk will reach out to you by email later today or tomorrow. They're going to tell you what the total is. They'll make payment arrangements if you need them. Do you have any questions?
No, everything's okay. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, you're doing good. Just this is minor. This is nothing. So just keep doing what you've been doing. All right.
I appreciate you. Take
Okay.
care, Wes.
You can go ahead and leave the meeting.
Sounds good. Thank you. Take care.
Mhm. All right, Andrew Yadvish, if you would unmute your device. This is EM 14507.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. I have a document that indicates that if you plead guilty to the added reduced charge of driving a defective vehicle, that is a 2-point violation, the city attorney will dismiss the original speeding charge against you from January 11th of 2022 at about 10 o'clock at night in the area of 92nd and Tower here in Commerce City. Is this how you wish to resolve your case today, by pleading guilty to this reduced charge?
Yes, sir.
Did you watch the advisement of rights video?
Yes, sir.
You understand that if I accept your guilty plea to this reduced charge, you are waiving all of the trial and appeal related rights that you were advised of in that video?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced you or coerced you to get you to plead guilty to this reduced charge against your will?
No, sir.
Has anyone made any promise to you to get you to enter this guilty plea?
No, sir.
Are you currently under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medications that affect your ability to understand what you're doing in court today?
No, sir.
Then to the added reduced charge of driving a defective vehicle, a 2-point violation on January 11th of 2022 here in Commerce City. How do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
I'll accept your guilty plea. Is there anything you want me to take into consideration before I impose the sentence against you?
Well, the only thing, Your Honor, is that at the time I wasn't feeling that great, so I may not have been paying that much attention. It turns out that I was coming down with COVID and I missed the last 15 days of work because of it.
All right, sorry for that. I'm noticing where you live. By now, you probably recognize that from where you live coming in this direction, all of the streets are 45-mile-an-hour zones. Highway 2, Tower Road, even Highway 85, when you get over here, is a 45. Quebec Parkway is a 45. We've done that so that north and south traffic can consistently go 45 miles an hour on all of those roads. That's just something to keep in mind in the future, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, you have an excellent driving record. Your scheduled fine's $120. I can reduce yours to $60 plus surcharges plus court costs. When you leave the meeting, my clerk will reach out to you by email either later today or tomorrow. They'll tell you the total. If you need them to, they'll work out payment arrangements for you, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, you can go ahead and leave the meeting. Destiny Lopez, if you would unmute your device.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Okay, first, there's a request to set aside the default that entered when you previously failed to appear. I'm granting that request, so the motion to set aside is granted, the default is vacated.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Second, I have a document that indicates that if you plead guilty to the added reduced charge of driving a vehicle with an obstructed windshield, a 0-point violation, the city attorney will dismiss the original stop sign charge against you from January 17th of 2022 at 7:30 in the evening in the area of 107th and Bell Creek Boulevard here in Commerce City. Is this how you wish to resolve your case today, by pleading guilty to this reduced charge?
Yes, sir.
Okay, did you watch the advisement of rights video?
I did.
And do you understand that if I accept your guilty plea to this reduced charge, you are waiving all of those trial and appeal related rights?
Yes, sir. I understand.
Has anyone forced you or coerced you to get you to plead guilty to this reduced charge against your will?
No, sir.
Has anyone made any promise to you to get you to enter this guilty plea?
No, sir.
Are you currently under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medications that affect your ability to understand what you're doing in court today?
No, I am not, sir.
Then how do you plead to the added reduced charge of driving a vehicle with an obstructed windshield, a 0-point violation on January 17th of 2022 here in Commerce City?
Guilty.
I'll accept your guilty plea. Anything you want to tell me that I should take into consideration before I impose the sentence against you?
No, sir.
All right. This looks like it's your first ticket ever. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Yeah, the police officer didn't give me a very good description of what happened here. I'm obviously familiar with that intersection. All right. Your schedule fine's $80. I'm going to reduce your fine to $40 plus surcharges, plus court costs. When you leave the meeting, the city or my staff will reach out to you by email either later today or tomorrow. They'll tell you what the total is. And if you need them to, they'll work out payment arrangements for you. Do you have any
Okay.
questions?
I do not. Thank you, sir.
Okay, you can go ahead and leave the meeting. Have a good afternoon.
You too. Bye-bye.
My mail queue was per email. And now that the case is done, is there something you can do to remove it from my queue? Yeah, thank you. All right, Manuel Smith, if you would unmute your device, this is case number EM1923.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Kevin Flesh on behalf of Manuel Smith.
Good afternoon, Mr. Flash. Mr. Flash, I'm about to retire from the bench, just letting you know. But if I weren't, you know, I'd be all over you about appearing in a court of record without wearing a tie. I'm just warning you that since I'm leaving, it's no skin off my nose, but you may not want to do that for a district court judge or county court judge or my successor who takes the bench here.
Very well, Judge.
All right. Let me have your registration number, Mr. Flash.
27278.
All right, I have a document that indicates that if on behalf of Mr. Smith, and I anticipate we're not having Mr. Smith appear, is that correct?
We would ask to waive his appearance for the purpose of the plea today. I have authority to accept it.
Okay. The proposed disposition is if on his behalf you tender a plea of guilty to the added reduced charge of driving a vehicle with a defective headlight, a 1-point violation, the city attorney will dismiss the original charge of careless driving from January 5th of 2022 at 12:54 in the afternoon in the area of Eagle Creek Parkway and Joliet Circle here in Commerce City. Is this your understanding of the proposed disposition?
It is.
And you've already represented to the court that you have your client's authority to enter this plea on his behalf, correct?
That is correct, Judge. I've explained his rights and obligations today. He, after understanding all of those rights and obligations, has agreed to accept this plea.
All right.
I have authority to accept it on his behalf.
And we'll waive his appearance pursuant to 16-7202. Just to make a clean record, then on behalf of Mr. Smith, to the added reduced charge of driving a vehicle with a defective headlight, a 1-point violation on January 5th of 2022 here in Commerce City. On his behalf, how do you plead?
Guilty, Your Honor.
I'll accept the plea. Anything by way of mitigation?
Only, Judge, that he doesn't have any real traffic history. For his last ticket was in 2012. So it's been
Okay.
almost 10 years.
Yeah, that's a mitigated driving record. Give me just a minute while I pull something else up here. All right, it appears nobody was injured. Oh, that's interesting. I'm picturing how he would not have seen that vehicle coming if he was pulling a U-turn at that particular location. Oh, well. Yeah, I mean, he at least acknowledged that you messed up and he didn't see it. All right, scheduled fine in this case is $200. He has a mitigated driving record, nothing in a particular aggravation here. I'm going to reduce the fine in this case. It has to be an aggravated fine because of the collision, but I'll reduce it to $100 plus surcharges, plus court costs. My clerk will email you either later today or tomorrow, Mr. Flash, with the total and provide a stay of execution. If your client needs to deviate from our standard payment arrangements, he can just notify my staff and they'll work out a different payment plan with him.
Yeah, we can get it paid right away, Your Honor.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Your
Okay,
Honor.
you can go ahead and leave the meeting. Have a good day. It's good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Probably
Thank
for the
you.
last time. Take care.
All right, good luck.
Okay, Kimberly Torres Rios, if you would unmute your device, please. This is EM 1934.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. All right, I have a document that indicates that if you plead guilty to the added reduced charge of driving a defective vehicle, a 2-point violation, the city attorney will dismiss the original speeding charge against you from January 10th of 2022 at 11 o'clock in the morning in the area of 84th and Tower Road here in Commerce City. Is this how you wish to resolve your case today, by pleading guilty to this reduced charge?
Yes, sir.
Did you watch the advisement of rights video?
Yes, I did.
And do you understand that if I accept your guilty plea to this reduced charge, you are waiving all of the trial and appeal-related rights that you were advised of in that video?
Yes.
Has anyone forced you or coerced you to get you to plead guilty to this reduced charge against your will?
No, sir.
Has anyone made any promise to you to get you to enter this guilty plea?
No, sir.
Are you currently under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medications that affect your ability to understand what you're doing in court today?
No, sir.
Then to the added reduced charge of driving a defective vehicle, a 2-point violation on January 10th of 2022 here in Commerce City. How do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
I'll accept your guilty plea. Is there anything you want me to take into consideration before I impose the sentence against you?
Yes, I was actually on my way to the hospital because I had smashed my finger with my car door.
Okay, well, you obviously didn't get there any faster because you got pulled over and got a ticket, right?
Yeah.
And would you agree with me that while you were speeding more than 20 miles an hour over the speed limit, you were distracted by the pain that you were in because your finger needed to medical attention? Would you agree?
Yeah.
Okay, so you have to look at it from my standpoint, which is community safety. The last person I want to see going more than 20 miles an hour over the speed limit is somebody who's already distracted. You are suffering an emergency. You know, it probably would have been better if you could to let somebody else drive you to the hospital rather than drive yourself and then speed. Because again, all you did was end up getting pulled over and getting a ticket and not getting to the hospital any faster, which was the last thing you needed at that time. Correct?
Yes.
All right. You know, according to this, you didn't even tell the police officer that you'd smashed your hand.
No, it seemed like he had an attitude, so I didn't even tell him. I was just trying to get to the hospital because I was in a lot of pain.
Yeah, he doesn't have an attitude. That's just what he's like all the time. You know, he's really gruff. Yeah, you should have told him. All right. There's nothing in aggravation on your driving record. Your scheduled fine in this case is $120. I'm going to reduce your fine to $60 plus surcharges plus court costs based on what you've told me and the plea bargain that you entered into with the prosecutor. So I'm cutting your fine in half. When you leave the meeting, my clerks will reach out to you by email either later today or tomorrow. They'll tell you the total and work out payment arrangements. Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, you can leave the meeting. Have a good afternoon.
Thanks, you too.
All right, Jerai Wires, if you would unmute your device, please.
Good afternoon, Judge.
Good afternoon. I have a document that indicates that if you plead guilty to the added reduced charge of improper lane use, that is a 3-point violation, the city attorney will dismiss the original speeding charge against you from January 9th of 2022 at about 9:30 in the morning in the area of the 91st and Tower Road here in Commerce City. Is this how you wish to resolve your case today, by pleading guilty to this reduced charge?
Yes, sir.
Did you watch the advisement of rights video?
I did.
And do you understand that if I accept your guilty plea to this reduced charge, you are waiving all of the trial and appeal related rights that you were advised of in that video?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced you or coerced you to get you to plead guilty to this charge against your will?
No, sir.
Has anyone made any promise to you to get you to enter this guilty plea?
No, sir.
Are you currently under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medications that affect your ability to understand what you're doing in court today?
No, sir.
Then to the added reduced charge of improper lane use, a 3-point violation on January 9th of 2022 here in Commerce City, how do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
I'll accept your guilty plea. Is there anything you want me to take into consideration before I impose the sentence against you?
I'm not one for excuses. I definitely own my mistake. But I was having a challenging day that morning. It's no excuse to speed, but I've learned my lesson. I've been thinking about it all month. I don't know what happens in court very much. So I've owned it.
Sure. And again, as I was just mentioning to the young lady, you were obviously distracted and focused on something else.
Right.
And so that's what we consider a distracted driver. Distracted driver doesn't have to be on their phone. They don't have to be eating or joking around with the people in their car. They just have to have their mind someplace other than on their driving. And, again, that's what leads to speeding tickets. That's what leads to accidents. I try to explain to people that if they're in distress, don't drive until you're able to manage that distress before moving on. In your case, you're going 30 miles an hour over the speed limit,
Sure.
in a distressed situation. You pose a danger to yourself and to everyone else. Now, you do have an excellent driving record, so I can treat this case as an aberration. Give me just a moment so I can do the math.
Sure.
All right, your scheduled fine's $200. You have such a good driving record, and you got a good plea bargain. And again, you've been candid about the reflection that you've done on this, that I'm certain it's probably going to be another 8 years before you get your next ticket.
Probably 50. I don't plan on getting in trouble, man.
There you go. So I'm going to reduce your fine to $100, cut it in half, plus surcharges, plus court costs. When you leave the meeting, my clerk's going to reach out to you by email either later today or tomorrow. They'll tell you what the total is. If you need them to, they'll work out a payment arrangement. Do you have any
Sure.
questions?
No, sir. I just want to thank you very much. I've known that you've given, a lot of grace to everyone here, and maybe I could say thank you on their behalf, but you've been great. Thank you so much.
All right, well, that's fine. Just take care and you can go ahead and leave the meeting. Have a good day.
You as well.
John Yak, if you would unmute your device, please. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I have a document that alleges that on January 12th of 2022 at approximately 8:42 in the evening in the area of 52nd and Vasquez Boulevard, it's alleged that you were speeding 64 in a 45-mile-per-hour zone here in Commerce City. Do you understand what you're accused of doing?
I do.
It's my understanding that you wish to plead not guilty and schedule this matter for trial. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right, let me enter your not guilty plea. Did you watch the advisement of rights video?
I did.
Okay. All of those are still in play for you. All right, so when you leave the meeting, my clerks will reach out to you. They'll schedule this matter for a trial to the court. If there's any witnesses that you wish to have present on the date of your trial that you believe will not appear in court voluntarily, let my clerks know. They'll issue subpoenas for you free of charge. They'll explain how those subpoenas need to be served on your witnesses in order to have them effectively ordered to appear on the date of your trial. If you wish to get copies of the police officer's notes or any reports related to your case, let my clerks know. They'll put you in contact with the city prosecutor's office, who will make arrangements to get all of that to you. I don't know if there's body cam information or not, but if there is, they'll make that available to you as well. And then obviously we'll see you back on the date of trial. Do you have any questions?
I do not.
Okay, just so that you know, trials do have to take place in person. So you'll need to appear in person on the date of the trial, okay?
Understood.
All right, I've entered your not guilty plea. We'll refer this over to the clerk to schedule it for trial. You are free to leave the meeting. Have a good afternoon. I think they issued a warrant for this person already. Oh, yeah. it is. All right, Mokisha Elliott, if you would unmute your device, this is case number EM 8626.
Hello.
Good afternoon. Okay, I'm going to need you to actually turn around so that the sun is more not into the camera. Thank you.
I'm sorry, my camera's kind of broke.
No, that's fine. You're okay, but just stay still right there. Okay. You were supposed to have appeared in court last week, and so I issued a warrant for your arrest. I'm going to cancel that warrant, but why weren't you here last week?
Well, because like I'm new to the court thing, so when I was trying to connect for some reason, it wasn't like letting me connect. It wasn't letting me join. It just kept saying like you're supposed to be here, and it told me that twice. So I was emailing the lady that was emailing me to let her know like it's not. I don't know what's going on. It wasn't letting me work, but for some reason today when I hopped on the Zoom, it just automatically like let me in.
Okay, good. I'll go ahead and cancel the warrant. I'm going to waive the warrant fee. Did you watch the advisement of rights video?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Now here's what's going on. I have a document that alleges that on January 4th of 2022, shortly before 5 o'clock in the evening, from the area of 5990 Dahlia Street, that's the Walmart store that's located here in Commerce City, it's alleged that you committed the offense of damaging property. Do you understand what it is you're accused of doing?
Yes.
All right, the city attorney says that he reviewed the elements of that charge with you. In other words, he explained what he would have to prove if this case went to trial in order for you to be found guilty of the damaging property charge. Did he go over those elements with you?
Yes.
Okay. He also says that he's offering you what's called a deferred judgment and sentence. What that means is you would be entering a plea of guilty to this charge on today's date, but I won't enter it on as a conviction on your record. I'll hold your case in suspense for 1 year. If you complete 16 hours of use of public service, an adult making better choices class, agree to stay out of the Walmart. You can't ever go back to the Walmart here in Commerce City, and commit no new law violations. At the end of 1 year, your guilty plea will be withdrawn and the case against you will be dismissed. Do you understand what's being offered to you?
Yes.
And is this how you wish to resolve your case today?
Yes, sir.
All right. Has anyone forced you or coerced you to get you to plead guilty to this charge against your will?
No, sir.
Has anyone made any promise to you to get you to enter this guilty plea?
No, sir.
Are you currently under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medications that affect your ability to understand what you're doing in court today?
No, sir.
Then to the charge of damaging property on January 4th of 2022 here in Commerce City, how do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
All right, I'm going to accept your guilty plea. I'll find it's knowing, intelligently, and voluntarily made with a full understanding of the rights being waived as well as the possible consequences. Give me just a moment.
Okay.
All right. I've signed the order. You're going to be ordered to do a one-day class called Adult Making Better Choices. My clerks will reach out to you by email later today. They'll send you a referral to the people that put on the class. You'll have a deadline of about 6 or 7 weeks within which to complete the class. It's important that you contact those people right away, get signed up for the class, and then get the class done by the deadline. It's going to be your responsibility to submit the proof of completion, that certificate of completion, to the court on or before the deadline my clerks give you. They're going to give you the form we use for community service. You can do the community service anywhere. It does not need to be done in Commerce City. The only requirement I make is that the place that you pick to do the community service must be a legitimate nonprofit agency. If you attend a church or a school, you can do it there. Salvation Army, food banks, Meals on Wheels, animal shelters. I don't care where you do it. The only requirement is it must be a legitimate nonprofit agency. Do the work, have them fill out the form, and again, submit that to the court on or before the deadline my clerks give you. There is a total of $34 in court costs that you're going to be obligated to pay. My clerks will send you that information and tell you how to make payment on that. And then the rest is easy. Stay out of the Walmart, stay out of trouble. Now, there might be a claim made for restitution in the amount of $589.08. I'm not going to order that you pay that now. I'm going to hold on to this and see if a claim is being submitted. If there is, you'll be given notice of that and you'll have the right to object at that time. Right now, there's no right to object because I'm not ordering anything. Okay?
Okay.
Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, you can go ahead and leave the meeting.
Thank you.
There's an attachment. See the next page? It has everything on there. Just scan that. Okay. That's why I wrote DJNS. So that's what that is. And then I put the costs down, 25 and 9. That's what the 34 comes from. Okay. And so if you scan the DJNS form, it's an order. And I've signed it. All right. Looks like I've got Tashonda Lewis Stinnett, case number EM 7662. If you would unmute your device.
Yes, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Good afternoon. Okay, I have a document that indicates that if you plead guilty to the added reduced charge of driving a defective vehicle, a 2-point violation, the city attorney will dismiss the original careless driving charge against you from December 4th of 2021 at about 1:30 in the afternoon in the area of, I don't know why he says to amend the location. I'm showing 6981. Oh, they wrote Ash Court, it's Ash Street. Is this how you wish to resolve your case today, by pleading guilty to this reduced charge?
Yes, sir.
All right, did you watch the advisement of rights video?
Yes,
And do you understand that if I accept your guilty plea to this reduced charge, you're waiving all of the trial and appeal related rights that you were advised of in this video?
yes,
Has anyone forced you or coerced you to get you to plead guilty to this reduced charge against your will?
no,
Has anyone made any promise to you to get you to enter this plea?
no,
Are you currently under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medications that affect your ability to understand what you're doing in court today?
no,
Then to the added reduced charge of driving a defective vehicle, a 2-point violation on December 4th of 2021, here in Commerce City. How do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
guilty.
I'll accept your guilty plea. Is there anything you want me to take into consideration before I impose the sentence against you?
No, sir.
Give me a moment. I've got the accident report. I'll take a look at that, but they put your name down wrong, but nope, we got the right record. Okay, there's nothing in aggravation on your driving record, so that's a good thing. All right, your scheduled fine's $200. I'm going to reduce your fine to $120 plus surcharges, plus court costs. It has to be an aggravated fine because of the nature of the collision itself. When you leave the meeting, my clerks are going to tell you the total by email, either later today or tomorrow, and they'll work out payment arrangements if you need them to. Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, so keep an eye out for that email. Again, the fine's 120, but we have to add surcharges and court costs to that. And so they'll take care of all of that for you. All right, you can go ahead and leave the meeting. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you.
Peter, it is brought up with his girlfriend. I hope he said it's not yours.
She's on the docket. Mr. Santillan, have you spoken to the prosecutor yet?
No, not yet.
Okay, we're about to send you to a breakout room so you can talk to him, okay?
Okay.
So long as it's not a CDL.
Jose? Can you
Yeah.
hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you should have something on there. It should have been on there for a while. It says join breakout room. You see that? If you could just click on that, you'll be in there.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, Julian Guzman, if you would unmute your device.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. I have a document that alleges that on January 8th of 2022 at 12:35 in the morning in the area of 92nd and Highway 2, that you committed the offense of making a U-turn where prohibited. Yeah, there isn't anywhere in that area of Highway 2 that would be allowed. Fortunately for you, the city attorney is elected to dismiss this case. So I'm going to enter the order dismissing this case. My clerks will provide it to you by email either later today or tomorrow. And I will close this matter. Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, case is dismissed. You are free to leave.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. The young lady who said that she had tried to come in last week and couldn't, was it you she was communicating with?
Yeah, she was the one that we were waiting for.
Mhm.
She joined on Friday. That
Mhm.
I don't know what to do about that.
Okay, again,
She still showed up.
we got it done and that's what matters.
So. Do you want me to have her sign this?
She doesn't need to sign it. We just need to scan it and then transmit it to her along with the other paperwork. I mean, we have it on the recording that that's what she's doing. All right, on the record regarding Jose Santillan, case number is EM 9660. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I have a document that indicates that if you plead guilty to the added reduced charge of improper lane use, that is a 3-point violation. The city attorney will dismiss the original speeding charge against you from January 10th of 2022 at 11:14 in the morning in the area of 99th and Tower Road here in Commerce City. Is this how you wish to resolve your case today, by pleading guilty to this reduced charge?
Yes, sir.
Did you watch the advisement of rights video?
Yes.
Do you understand that if I accept your guilty plea to this reduced charge, you are waiving all of the trial and appeal related rights that you were advised of in that video?
Yes.
Has anyone forced you or coerced you to get you to plead guilty to this reduced charge against your will?
No.
Has anyone made any promise to you to get you to enter this guilty plea?
No.
Are you currently under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medications that affect your ability to understand what you're doing in court today?
No.
Then to the added reduced charge of improper lane use, a 3-point violation on January 10th of 2022 here in Commerce City. How do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
I'll accept your guilty plea. Anything you want to tell me that I should consider before I impose the sentence against you?
Just to be more careful on driving, just paying more attention to the dashboard and roads when I'm driving. Cause I mean, I was paying attention to the road, not just no, and not the how fast I was going. So
Sure. Well, you know, it's like I was talking to the young man earlier who lives up near where you do. All of the streets down from there, they're all 45-mile-an-hour zones. Tower, Highway 2, Highway 85, Quebec Parkway, they're all 45s. So you need to be real careful, okay? All right, there's nothing in aggravation on your record. Your scheduled fine's 120. I'm going to lower yours to $80 plus surcharges plus court costs. When you leave the meeting, my clerk will reach out to you by email, either later today or tomorrow. They'll tell you what the total is and make payment arrangements. Do you have any questions?
no, sir.
Okay, you can go ahead and leave the meeting. Have a good afternoon.
All right, thank you. Have a good day.
You know, this kid tells me what happened. None of it.
Have you spoken with him?
No, who's that?
He's on the docket, Mr. McGill.
Nope, haven't seen the jury.
Okay.
She's a very fun.
Yeah. Okay, on the record regarding Corinne Mbongo, this is case number EM 9659. If you would unmute your device. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
All right. Do you have a parent with you?
Yes, she's right here.
Yes,
Okay.
Your Honor.
Yes, could I have your name, please?
My name is Nicolene Fringway.
And you're her mother?
Yes, I'm her stepmother.
Okay. Thank you. All right, Corinne, I have a document that indicates that if you plead guilty to the added reduced charge of driving a vehicle with a defective headlight, that is a 1-point violation, and agree to attend the Aliva 25 class, the city attorney will dismiss the original careless driving charge against you from January 9th of 2022 at about 5:45 in the afternoon in the area of 17100 East 104th Avenue here in Commerce City. Is this how you wish to resolve your case today, by pleading guilty to this reduced charge?
Yes, Your Honor. I
Okay.
just want the case dismissed because it's affecting my school, and like I just want it done because yeah.
Yeah, it's not being dismissed. You're having a conviction for a 1-point defective headlight if you accept what the city attorney's offered to you.
What is that, please?
It's a 1-point charge. Basically, what's happening is you're charged with careless driving. That'll be reduced to driving a vehicle with a defective headlight. Careless driving is a 4-point ticket under Colorado law. Driving a vehicle with a defective headlight is a 1-point ticket under Colorado law. So the charge is being reduced. Is this what you want to do?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I need to talk to your stepmother. Okay. Do you
Yes, Your
understand?
Honor.
Yes, do you understand the original charge that was filed against Corinne?
Yes, we do.
And do you understand the reduced charge that the city attorney is offering her in an effort to resolve this case?
Yes, we do. I think the attorney explained that it was being dropped to 1 and that she needs to take a class,
Yes, that's correct.
a half-day course or something.
Yes, it can all be done in one day, depending on whether it's done virtually or in person, yes.
Okay.
Do you think Corinne is acting in her best interest by accepting this resolution and pleading guilty to this reduced charge?
We were hoping for it to be dismissed because it was actually, from everything she called us that day explaining, and the guy following her home was not actually, it was not actually her fault. We don't know it sounded more like a road rage, and we don't know what would have happened to her because the guy stopped immediately in front of her, and that's what we told the officer.
It's a woman, it's a young woman that was driving the other vehicle.
She said it was a man
Yeah,
who
it
came
was a
out
man who
banging
came
her
out of the
door.
car.
And whoever came here was a male.
Yeah.
Yeah, I show it as a young woman.
That is kind of strange because she called that day, she was on the phone, she said a male, and she saw a male, and the guy who she led home was a male.
Yeah, they were all males.
I'm only showing that the person she was involved in the accident with was a woman.
Wow.
Okay, again, do you want to contest this, or do you want her to accept what the city attorney is offering?
Who accept the offer?
Okay,
I just
thank you.
want to know, how does that Okay, it's okay. We'll accept the offer
Okay, thank
because
you.
she's an excellent driver. She did her test and she had really a good recommendation. So we'll accept the offer. We just want it gone because she's still scared from it.
Yeah, excuse me for just a second. I have two people talking to me at the same time.
The only thing I thought is that it's a chance that the other driver is named Christopher Alicia.
No, I'm showing this as a female born. They've got her driver's license number, date of birth, sex, everything. It looks like it's Alicia Christopher, female. We are, because she's listed as driver 1 and this other woman is listed as driver 2. Maybe it's just Corinne has it wrong in terms of what the other car was. I don't have an answer for it. All right. Thank you for your assistance. I need to flip back and speak to Corinne now.
Okay, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Did you watch the advisement of rights video?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you understand that if I accept your guilty plea to this reduced charge, you are renouncing all of the trial and appeal related rights that you were advised of in that video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has anyone forced you or coerced you to get you to plead guilty to this reduced charge against your will?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone made any promise to you to get you to enter this guilty plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you currently under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medications that affect your ability to understand what you're doing in court today?
No, Your Honor.
Then to the added reduced charge of driving a vehicle with a defective headlight, a 1-point violation on January 9th of 2022 here in Commerce City, how do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
I'll accept your guilty plea. Is there anything you want to tell me that I should take into consideration before I impose the sentence against you?
So like I said to the attorney, I was really scared when that happened. Like the man came out of the car and started slamming at the window. So that's why I went. That's
Okay.
why I left the place. Yeah.
All right, but in terms of the accident, did the city attorney describe how they said the accident happened? That you were changing lanes and merging traffic, and then you hit the
Yes.
rear of the other car? Okay, that's the only thing that's concerning to me. One thing that you should be aware of, though, is the police department has a substation right on the corner of 104th and Tower
Yeah.
Road. So, if you ever find yourself in the area that you live in and concerned, just go to the police station. It's on the southwest corner of 104th and Tower Road. That's where the police have a police officer. Okay?
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor. I'll be
Okay.
more careful.
All right. So let me do the fine and other conditions here. This is your first ticket of any type, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Your scheduled fine's $160. I'm going to go ahead and order the $160 fine, but I'm going to suspend it. I'm going to suspend 120 of it
Thank you, Your Honor.
because I'm going to order that you do the Alive at 25 class.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and there's going to be surcharges and court costs added to that $40 of the fine that I am not suspending. When you leave the meeting, my clerks are going to reach out to you by email later today or tomorrow. They'll tell you what the total is with the $40 fine plus surcharges and court costs, and they'll tell you how to make payment arrangements. They're going to send you a referral to the people that put on the class, and they'll give you a deadline of about 6 weeks within which to complete the class. You'll need to contact them right away, get signed up for the class so you can get it scheduled and done before the deadline my clerks give you. When you finish that, make sure you submit that proof of completion to my court, but you should also give one to your parents so that they can send it to their insurance adjuster. So, because you never know, the insurance company might give your family a discount because you've done a driving class, okay? And then hold on to another copy just in case you ever have to go to DMV for any reason. So original for the court, copy for your parents' insurance, copy for DMV just in case. And then from now on, when you get behind the wheel of a car, the most important thing that your family and I'm concerned about is that you get home safely. So really focus on being a very safe driver. Be aware of all of the traffic around you. Don't go speeding and just be extra careful, okay?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Do you have any questions about what's expected of you?
No, Your Honor. Thank
And
you.
does your stepmother have any questions about what's expected?
No, Your Honor, thank you so
Okay.
much.
Thank you. All right, then you can go ahead and leave the meeting and my clerks will email you either today or tomorrow, okay?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh. Okay, Sheree Madrid, if you would unmute your device.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I have a document that indicates that if you plead guilty to the added reduced charge of driving a defective vehicle, a 2-point violation, the city attorney will dismiss the original careless driving charge against you from January 5th of 2022 at about 6:55 in the evening in the area of Sereni Boulevard and Brighton Boulevard here in Commerce City. Is this how you wish to resolve your case today, by pleading guilty to this reduced charge?
Yes, sir.
Did you watch the advisement of rights video?
Yes, sir.
And do you understand that if I accept your guilty plea to this reduced charge, you are waiving all of the trial and appeal related rights that you were advised of in that video?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced you or coerced you to get you to plead guilty to this reduced charge against your will?
No, sir.
Has anyone made any promise to you to get you to enter this guilty plea?
No, sir.
Are you currently under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medications that affect your ability to understand what you're doing in court today?
No, sir.
Then to the added reduced charge of driving a defective vehicle, a 2-point violation on January 5th of 2022 here in Commerce City. How do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
I'll accept your guilty plea. Is there anything you want me to take into consideration before I impose the sentence against you?
No, sir.
Okay, your driving record shows a ticket from March of 2021 here in Greenwood Village. Is that entry correct?
Yes.
Okay, let me look at this report. All right, so you just slid on the ice. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
All right, no one was injured. That's a good thing. All right, your scheduled fine in this case, again, you have a collision and you have a moving violation within the year. Your scheduled fine is $200. I'm going to reduce your fine. I can only take this one down to $140 plus surcharges and court costs. So when you leave the meeting, my clerks are going to reach out to you by email either later today or tomorrow. They'll tell you what the total is, and if you need them to, they'll work out a payment plan for you. Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, then you can go ahead and leave the meeting. Keep an eye out for that email.
Okay, thank you.
Well, have a good afternoon.
You as well.
Well, we should have one more joining us around 3 anyway. That was all of my 1 o'clock Zoom folks.
Did we see Steven Sanchez?
He was the first one.
See how fast it goes by?
Oh, yeah.
How about Steven Valencia Pineda?
He did not register for Zoom.
Okay, so we haven't seen him.
No.
Marco Soto Corral?
Nope.
And that's it?
Marco and Valencia Pineda were the only two that did not.
Right, that's the only two I don't have marked off, although I didn't have Sanchez marked off either. It's probably because I just didn't pull it out and mark it off when it started. And then for the afternoon, did we see Elizar
We
Rodriguez?
haven't seen Elazar now.
Okay, and then Ricardo Rodriguez we're also waiting for.
Correct.
And he registered but hasn't checked in, correct?
Elazar has not registered.
No, Ricardo.
Ricardo has it.
Right. Okay, so it's all right. I mean, we've got an hour to kill. because we're zooming along. No pun intended.
Like you're having fun here. Like,
Felt bad for a couple of us, like that girl. I can see she was afraid, but all of that happened after the accident. But the accident was still her fault.
Yeah.
Why would the fact that this person got mad at her and came, beating on the door be any reason why the case should be dismissed? It shouldn't.
not questioning what happened after.
Yeah, I bet that the person was in the passenger seat, and because they almost never write down passenger information unless they're injured.
They
And
were
what,
the most involved outside of the car. No, that's the thing. The report is what information can be presented.
right. Oh, yeah, well, you've heard me and Adam complaining over and over and over. Yeah.
Too many times.
Yeah, and I
For
tell him,
anyone's own good.
right, I keep telling him, he needs to keep forcing himself on the training, and he needs to make sure that the sergeants are held accountable.
So
And keep in
they
mind-
had us go over there for the training. I don't know if you heard. But I mean, I appreciate them inviting us over. It's just they were in no place to take the information that we were providing. And so,
Mhm.
you know, it's just they're not at that point where they're issuing tickets, where they're doing this, where they're writing reports, where they're even looking at reports.
Right.
And so,
Oh, so it was too early in their training? Yeah, see, the thing that I would want to tell them is like, in that case, give each one of these people a blank statement form, have them write down their version of what happened, and then download both of them. You don't have to give anybody Miranda rights, because traffic ticket, nobody's placed in custody. And nobody can force them to write a statement if they choose not to.
Yeah.
But you give them the opportunity, because how many times have we heard, we read the report and then the person comes in and says, that's not what happened
something
at all.
entirely different.
Right, even the wrong locations. Yeah, and again, the cops don't see the accidents, so they don't know what happened.
No, and I mean, I think that's the craziest thing about an accident report is that they're probably just showing up, talking to someone,
Right, and then
taking their information. and
whoever
putting it-
they tend to want to believe is who they believe. And that's what goes into the report.
a tough one. You know, I'm sure there are the occasional accident where, oh, look at that. That just happened. But
Almost
But-
never.
yeah. Ugh. I don't know what you do about it. Really.
Hold sergeants accountable. Sergeant, if your name is on the bottom of this report and you approve it, then you have to appear in court and listen to the trial.
Enjoy municipal court.
Mhm. I blame the sergeants. I mean, you hear about all these complaints about how the patrol officers are unhappy with the chiefs and deputy chiefs. It's because the sergeants, let the officers slide. Then when the command staff gets wind of what was going on or what was done wrong, they take it right out on the patrol officer.
Yeah, I mean, we have too much, in the way of errors, just on the browser side. Like, they're not looking at things, which is what they're supposed to do. I understand the convenience of select all, approve. But we have like 3 tickets that get submitted for the same exact circumstance.
Mhm.
And you think maybe before you press accept, validate, whatever it is, that you might be able to see that John Smith got in this violation 6 times in a row
Right.
in the same
See,
minute.
But
That's
you
crazy.
said, one of the options they have is select all and approve, and they use them.
Yeah.
Because they're too damn lazy to actually read each of these reports. I mean, I had one report the other day, it showed serious bodily injury. It's a 3, and it was charged as careless with no injury. And I'm like, dude, if they had to take the person
There
out
is
by
an injury
ambulance-
subsection. You can
Right.
choose that
Right.
as a
Choose it.
violation.
Exactly. I mean, and then the sergeant, how do you approve this when you know the person got taken out by an ambulance?
But Adam has brought up the same circumstance where he's shown me a report with all 3. His person comes in and it's like, yeah, no, I just, hardly rear-ended anybody.
Right.
And it looks like a rollover. It's-
In this day and age, they have the ability to attach pictures. Just do it.
I think in the citations, honestly,
Well, no, they had this one from this morning where the guy's smiling, holding onto his ticket. I think that was funny. Did Adam show that to you?
They didn't show me him smiling looking at it.
Yeah, he's like, he's like looking out the window and the guy took his picture.
Yeah, there's an officer that does that every once in a while. I'll see a picture of someone in a car.
I think, take a picture of the back of the car so you get the license plate on it, take a picture of.
So there's a
driver,
way
you're
in
good.
full court for us to transfer DMV photo data over. And it would just display on like their main case page. We just haven't been doing it.
I didn't know that we had that option. I
Yeah,
would've-
so you see this here. Take a look. See how it says no image on record for this person? There's a way where you can communicate with the DMV, and anytime there's a license plate or a driver's license, it automatically places their DMV photo right there.
Is there some way we can make that automatic so you don't have to select that each time?
So it would populate anytime we ran like our DMV. So when we report convictions, we also report, or we take, whatever data we want.
Mhm.
We probably just have to work that with DMV. I think it's an awesome feature.
I think it's a good idea. because
Boulder,
if-
Boulder has it, so like when I've worked with Boulder to look through their stuff, I'm like, oh, look at all these people.
No, I think that's a good idea because again, now that a lot of stuff is having virtual, the chances of somebody basically stealing somebody's ID and using it and then appearing and
Quite
pleading guilty,
probable.
the likelihood of it happening
It has
goes up.
definitely risen.
Right. That's why when they don't have the camera function, I pick something obscure on their ticket and tell them to give me the information.
All right, what's your address?
And
Glad
I-
Sheree got it. She was having a problem here for a moment. I'm also glad earlier.
What's
We
that?
are. Yeah, we'll have to have the doors open till at least 3:30 if
Yeah, unless the last of the people show up, we have to wait till 3:30. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead. Mhm.
So do I need, is it a good idea for me to pay for?
I don't have an answer for that. I do criminal law. You would need somebody who does business law.
no. Unfortunately not, yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Best of luck.
Oh, I'm good. I'm researching. I just
All right.
figured I was in the court, it's a bunch of, everybody knows stuff, so. I just-
Yeah, well, we know criminal stuff, not business stuff.
County court might have more information.
No, they wouldn't either.
That's some civil matters.
Right, but that's civil,
Yeah.
complaints, that's different. There's lawyers that, the best place to check might be at your local chamber of commerce. I don't know where your business is located. Okay, it's in Colorado, right? So just check with the Denver Chamber of Commerce and, describe your problem to them or your question to them. And I'm sure they have somebody in their Chamber of Commerce that can answer the question really quick. Okay. Sure. Well, that's why I said, the Chamber of Commerce are set up to help businesses and small businesses. So that would be a great place to go to check. Yeah, just the Chamber of Commerce, whatever, Westminster has one, Denver has one. A lot of the various places, when you go to Google, the place that your business is based at, just go to that city's Chamber of Commerce and Google that and it'll give you a contact information. I was never a Chamber of Commerce guy until I joined my law firm and then realized that, rather than spending a fortune marketing, we joined the Chamber of Commerce and they spend part of the dues that we all pay with marketing, and they're marketing our target audience. Because it's not like we're spending money marketing for somebody in Pueblo or to somebody in, Grand Junction. Ours was the North Metro Chamber of Commerce.
It's really interesting how geolocation has really just helped advertising. Like if you think about like people on Facebook, people on Instagram, all these things, millions of people go on those every single day and ask for your location info when you log in. And that's why the amount of
They want to target at it.
the local audiences that you hit, and then obviously they get access to all your cookies too, so they know everything that you've ever searched for and that you've been viewing for extended periods of time.
Except mine automatically delete every time I leave the site.
Yeah, you can do that.
I have
Also, just browse incognito, but
As soon as I leave my browser, all of my cookies are automatically deleted.
well, you probably are a hard person to advertise to.
It seems like I'm not though, because
They keep getting you.
it's, my website and my email are both public records. So
Oh yeah.
until my website shuts down, it should have shut down about 6 months ago, but I can't centrally canceled, because I canceled the phone number that I used for my internet service and my website and all that stuff, and then just went to a virtual office.
Your domain is
No,
that?
my domain's still active.
It's still active.
Right, but my advertisement, which includes how to manage my website, was through CenturyLink, and I had two numbers. I had I had a static IP address through one phone number, then I had all my telephone calls through another number. So I merged them, but they canceled the IP account number. Again, two phone numbers, the billing accounts were separate for each number, but my website page management was through the data phone number that I used. It wasn't a real phone number, it was just, that's the account number. And they canceled it before I was able to change my web page and show that I was retiring and not taking new cases. And so after I made the move,
feel like Adam yells every time he talks to the computer.
That was ¿cómo se dice fiscal en inglés? Kind of.
El fiscal es el prosecutor. All right, court's on the record regarding Ricardo Rodriguez. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
This is case number EM 7676. Let's see. No, that's not. What happened here? All right. Okay, Ricardo, I have a document that alleges or that indicates that if you plead guilty to the added reduced charge of driving a vehicle with a defective headlight, that is a 1-point violation, and attend the Alive at 25 class, the city attorney will dismiss the careless driving charge against you from January 18th of 2022 at 10:47 in the morning in the area of 65th and Magnolia Street here in Commerce City. Is this how you wish to resolve your case today, by pleading guilty to this reduced charge?
Yes.
Okay, and is that your mother sitting next to you there?
Yes.
Okay, could you move the camera a little so I can see you? Thank you. Hi, all right. Do you understand the original charge that was filed against your son?
Yes.
Do you understand the reduced charge the city attorney is offering your son in an effort to resolve this case?
Yes, I do.
And do you agree that your son is acting in his best interest by accepting this resolution and pleading guilty to this reduced charge?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and just to be sure, are you Patricia Rodriguez?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Ricardo, did you watch the advisement of rights video?
Yes.
Do you understand that if I accept your guilty plea to this reduced charge, you are waiving all of the trial and appeal related rights that you were advised of in that video?
Yes.
Has anyone forced you or coerced you to get you to plead guilty to this reduced charge against your will?
No, sir.
Has anyone made any promise to you to get you to enter this guilty plea?
No.
Are you currently under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medications that affect your ability to understand what you're doing in court today?
No, sir.
Then to the added reduced charge of driving a vehicle with a defective headlight, a 1-point violation on January 18th of 2022 here in Commerce City. How do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
I'm guilty.
I'll accept your guilty plea. Give me a second while I read this report.
Okay. Reading court. The police
All right.
report.
Is there anything you want to tell me that I should consider before I impose the sentence against you?
No.
I'm not showing that there was ice on the road or anything. So it was just a question of speed. Is that right?
Is that
In other
it?
words, you were just going too fast. It's not that the road was icy or anything?
No.
Okay. All right. Senora Rodriguez, is there anything that you want me to take into consideration about your son before I impose the sentence against him?
No.
Okay, you got to tell me he's a good kid.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Should I know? Should I be on his side now? No, he is. He's a good kid. You know, it was just an accident that, you know, just happened, but he's really a good kid. He just got a job and that. So
All right.
he's going to go to work and continue and finish school.
All right. Okay, Ricardo, you need to understand that you're a new driver. As a new driver, you pose a much higher risk of getting into or causing an accident than a more experienced driver. Part of that is because people your age, they're always rushing around from place to place to place. School, work, with friends, extracurricular activities, just all of that kind of stuff. And as a consequence, you're not really focused on your driving the way you should be. When you get behind the wheel of a car, Ricardo, you only have one goal. That's to get to where you're going safely. And I'm sure your mother would agree with that. She wants you getting to where you're going safely, not more quickly. You need to learn to never be in a hurry when you're in your car. Until you've engaged in daily driving for 3 years, and you've got what, less than 6 months driving? Until you've engaged in daily driving for 3 years, you pose a much higher risk of getting into an accident than a more experienced driver. So when you get behind the wheel of the car, pay attention to the speed limits. Never treat your car like a toy. Always focus on everything that's going on around you so that you're driving safely. Never be in a hurry in your car. If you do that, you won't see judges, you won't get into any future accidents. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I've got to do the math here with regard to your case. This is your first violation of any type, but it's a 3-car accident and the other cars were stopped. So that's not a good thing for you. All right, your schedule fine in this case is $240. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to impose the $240, but I'm going to suspend 140 of it. I want this to be more of an educational opportunity with you rather than a punishment. So that'll leave you a fine of $40 plus surcharges plus court costs. I'm also going to order that you do the Aliva 25 class. And then after you take that class, try to apply what they teach you in that class to your driving so that you become a better driver. All right. Now, when you leave the meeting, my clerks are going to send you an email either today or tomorrow. They'll tell you what the total is with the $40 fine plus surcharges and court costs, and they'll make payment arrangements. They'll send you the referral to the people that put on the Aliva 25 class, and they're going to give you a deadline. It's really important that you contact those people right away, get set up for the class so that you can get it done by the deadline. When you finish the class, they'll give you a certificate of completion. It's your responsibility to make sure that certificate of completion gets submitted to my court on or before the deadline. Give your mom a copy of that. She should send it to her insurance agent. Make sure that you get that to the insurance agent because they might provide your mom a discount for you being added to the insurance policy if you've shown them that you've done a driving class. You never know. It doesn't hurt to ask them. Hold on to another copy because you might end up having to prove it to DMV that you did the class when you go to turn in your permit to try to get your regular driver's license. So original for the court, copy for your mom's insurance, copy for DMV just in case. Do you have any questions regarding?
No, sir.
Okay, and does your mom have any questions about what's expected of you?
No. Oh, well, the class 21, there's a deadline. Do you know when it would start roughly?
Well, it's going to be, your deadline is March 24th. They'll
Okay.
send you a referral either today or tomorrow. My clerks will. As soon as you get it, contact them. And the name of the class is Aliva 25. It's designed to teach young people safe driving habits. Okay?
Oh,
Any
perfect.
other questions?
No, that would be all.
Okay, you can leave the meeting. Have a good afternoon.
You too. Take care. Thank you.
Mhm. All right, court's off the record in recess. You can end the Zoom meeting. And I'm turning this off because everybody else is too late.
Bye, Chris.